Greetings, fellow followers of the strange. You find me in my living room yet again. The Pipe is by an Italian maker named Stefano Sant'Ambrogio. It's a beautiful apple. In it is a blend called States of Virginia from the late lamented Sutliff Corporation. I think I have the can here. I do indeed. Golden Virginia, a red Virginia, and a black Virginia, each in their own little crumble cake. You could smoke them individually or combine them in any fashion that you wish. Very good. I'm down to my last couple of tins and then it's no more. I want to do something a little different this evening. I've touched on my love of books briefly before, but I don't really dwell on it too much. There are lots of good booktube presenters, and this particular video is sort of a tribute to my friend Gary, the Gentleman Scholar, who is a major book nut. As you can see, there's a sample of some books behind me here. Off to the right are, this way, are quite a number of Bibles. Some are very old. I have editions going back into the 1800s. I'm going to do something I normally wouldn't do, and I'm going to show you some books that I recently acquired. I know that's big in the book community. People show what they recently got. I don't buy new books hardly ever. I've been a used book fan for a long time, going back to my childhood, which is a long story probably in and of itself, but I loved scouring places for books, used books. I'd go to flea markets, particularly with my parents, and I was always on the lookout for nice old used books. And you could find a lot of them in those days. Also, when I was a teenager, there were lots of used bookstores. They were everywhere. They were mom and pop operations. And in fact, quite often you walked in and it might be one owner, and that owner worked it, and that owner barely said two words to you because their nose was usually in a book, and you could just get lost in the stacks and have fun, which is what I did. Unfortunately, there aren't a lot of, in fact, there's almost no mom and pop used bookstores in most places today, which is unfortunate. At any rate, I still look sometimes for new things to add that might be of interest. I have to watch my pennies, as we all do. All right. The first, I'm going to have to set this down. I don't want to battle the pipe and spill any embers on pages of books, heaven forbid. I'm a big fan of Professor Michio Kaku. And if you don't know who he is, but I'm sure you do, but if you don't, you should Google him and really watch. He's everywhere. He's on the radio. He's on. You can find him on YouTube. He's interviewed a lot. He is one of my favorite scientists because he tries to explain to the layman in terms that you can sort of follow. So I just got some books through a used store online. So let's take a look here. This is for you, Gary. First up, I really wanted to beef up my library of Michio Kaku, so I did. And the first book that I added was Hyperspace, and it is a look at parallel universes, time warps, and the 10th dimension. I think that should give me something fun to read. The second one, again, we have Michio Kaku, The Future of the Mind. This book is about trying to understand and empower the human mind. All from a scientific standpoint. So, Michio, thank you. And number 3 on my Michio Kaku list was Parallel Worlds, which is exactly what it sounds like. It's a look through creation, higher dimensions, and the future of the cosmos. Excellent. All right. Now, number 4 is in keeping with the kinds of books that I've spent most of my life reading, and that's nonfiction. So obviously Michio Kaku's books are all nonfiction; they're all science-based. I read lots of history. I'm going to try to correct my reading so that I don't read as much nonfiction. I really have cheated myself out of reading fiction. I need to read more of it, and I'm going to read more of it. It's particularly important to me now, since last year I received some medical diagnosis concerning my eyes, which is very disturbing. But we're not going to talk about that. We are going to talk about this book right here. Napoleon. This is by a historian named Andrew Roberts. And you might be thinking, well, there's tons of books about Napoleon. And you would be right, and I've read a lot of them. And I own a couple of things, one of which is a 3-volume set that was originally published in the late 1800s. That was written by one of Napoleon's private secretaries. What makes this book so important for the Napoleonic scholar, fan, reader. It's not a new book. Was published about 10 years ago. But this writer had something that no other writer has had who have chronicled Napoleon. This writer was the first to have access to all of Napoleon's private papers. The French government had finally released them, and this fellow, Andrew Roberts, was the first to have access to all of it. So he has a lot more source material, and I'll be interested to see how it comes. Yes, it's a very big book. It's very thick. It'll take some time, but it's in the reading queue, and, I'll get to it when I get to it. Now, we come to a couple of purchases that just arrived, and they are new purchases, but they're purchases from Amazon that I've been tracking for a while and thinking about doing. I'm a big fan of J.R.R. Tolkien, but I've never owned a nice edition of his works. I've always had basically I've had ratty old paperbacks. Now, I'm not complaining because my ratty old paperbacks were published around 1969 or 1970, and they have an actual foreword that was written by Tolkien for them, in which he talks about how he's being ripped off by many bogus publishers who are printing his books, and he's not receiving money for it, and that this particular edition he wanted to make sure people were buying because it was his edition and the money was going to him. And he also addressed some other things which was interesting, and we might get into that sometime. So, what do we have? Well, I haven't even taken the shrink wrap off of these yet. I'm waiting for a different day. But first up, The Hobbit. Beautiful. And you can see the end leaves there, written in Elvish, Old Elvish. I remember when I first read The Hobbit, how I was completely sucked in to that hole in the ground. I loved it. Now I have this. And it's more money than I normally like to spend. Yes, it was on sale, Prime days, drastically reduced, blah, blah, blah. But still, I can't afford it, but I did it anyway. And now, the piece de resistance. Now, this item, I actually showed this several months ago, sometime last year even maybe. And I said on my Facebook homepage, this would make a wonderful gift for me. But nobody got it for me. So I got it for myself. And here it is, in all its glory. Kind of hard to see it. My light's blurring it. The Lord of the Rings. This masterful, beautiful edition. Probably would be better not have a glare with the cellophane off. I'm not going to take it off yet. See all the Elvish written across here. Same with the end unit. They both come from the same publisher, so they were made to match with this kind of paper. They each have the nice bookmarks built in. So nobody got it for me, but I got it for myself. And I thank me from the bottom of my heart. I truly do. So, that's a book report, I suppose, for you, or a book show and tell. I've always been a fan of books. I've always scavenged for them. I've given away a lot of books, which I recommend if you're tired of something, donate them, give them to someone, pass them on. Don't keep them. It's not worth doing. Selling, you'll never get the money you want unless it's a collector's edition, but most of us don't have anything that intense in our libraries, and all my books have to be able to be touched. I don't want them to just be under glass. If you can't touch them and smell them, then there's no point in having it. Well, that was a little different. For those who have been wondering about art posts, I am very much still an artist. It's an important part of my life. I still have hopes here in Act 3 of my journey that I might yet make a mark somewhere. But after my mother's death in 2024, at the end of the year, I was not in a very good frame of mind for my painting. I was not happy with the work that I was doing. So I had to take a break to clear my mind and get back on a different path. But more paintings will come in time if that interests you, and if you follow my channel to look for that, I appreciate that very much. I really do. I've given you books now. I've given you all sorts of stuff. If you'd like me to talk more about books, you can tell me in the comments. If you don't want me to talk about books, you can let me know in the comments. If you have no comment, feel free to put it in the comments. Thanks for stopping by. Hope you're enjoying a pipe. If you'd like me to read to you, I might like to do that. Think about that. I could do some readings from public domain work. The lighter, this will be reminiscent of old videos. The lighter is a Zippo. Mounted soldier there. His tattered flag. It's a wraparound, magnificent sword. Swords in the ground. It is the Crusades. And my fountain pen carries of the day are this Delta, which was made in honor of Federico Fellini, the great Italian filmmaker. See, each position on the silver band here is this represents a film strip. All of it has reference at the top, his initials. Yeah. Yeah. And my second one, because you can never have enough fountain pens, is this beautiful stipula. I say that again, it sounded like I was lisping. Stipula. Etruria. Limited edition. It's a piston filler, which means this end unscrews and sucks the ink in. It's a 1.1 stub gold nib. That means that you can get a little bit of a flare, a little thicker line if you wish, depending on how you hold the pen. All right, well, thank you for geeking out with me, and until next time, I hope you find something strange to get into. See ya.